Hello again. This is Elisa Ganz, and you're in the final number 4 video of my video instructional series, and we're going to get on to step 8 in creating and constructing your story. This is my ultimate favorite section because it allows me to be extra creative, and then I'm able to publish or open up my open house for the world to see my story. But you can go to elisagans.com to be able to look at more formats and more videos if you haven't been able to see the other previous videos. But let's go ahead and do a review. So we talked about pictures being worth 1,000 words and how important visual images are to a story. We talked about sorting and capturing and uploading those pictures and how it may be a little bit daunting, but it's going to be well worth it because of the smile on that child's face laying there. Now, we also talked about organizing photos and basically your photo family tree and uploading all those pictures into one file and then making sure you're putting them in different family files and then into individual people. Then you're going to be able to add those pictures to your workbench and Historylines and add them to all those different sections of your story. But now we're going to get to the exciting part. We're going to talk about publishing on different social media and actual physical published books. So Facebook, I think most everyone has a Facebook. So with Facebook, you can go right from Historylines and you can copy the URL, which every single person will have its own, and I will show you a little bit more later, and you'll actually paste it in here and you'll say, hey family, check out Grandpa's story I made with Historylines. So then you can share it and people will actually be able to click on that and it'll take them right to a read-only link and to see what it is that you created right on there. Now, this is my social book. I'm going to give you sort of an idea of another way to approach Facebook and actually writing your Facebook story by utilizing some of the elements from your Historylines. So basically every event that you do, you can actually post on Facebook. And if you take a hiatus or a vacation from your normal publishing of Facebook, you could actually then create a My Social Book in the format of Facebook. So every little post you're going to do is you're going to talk about your family and all of those different little events and areas on Historylines. Then when it's time, when you're all complete, you can then go and create a My Social Book and then publish just those areas, and you'll have a story in this format, and any child that actually looks at Facebook will love to look at it. So as I was just talking to you about, you'll see that up here is where your little URL, and that's your own individual personal link back to Historylines for someone to be able to see your story. So you can email that link, you can paste it into various other programs, and I'll show you, just like in Family Search, if you wanted to have that available for anyone out there to be able to see the story that you've created on a particular family member, then you'll just go to Memories and you will then create a new story and you'll paste that URL in there and then say copy and paste this individual section into a web browser, and then they'll be able to read it from there. So you can go through the same process to get that link, to link the story to that person by going to the tree. Like if I want to share my dad's story, there is his name and there is his ID number, and then I would go and paste that as I did when I was linking a picture to be able to link the story to him. But now I want to share an experiment I'm trying to do. I want to be able to take my grandpa's story, and I'm working on it right now, and I want to be able to maybe touch the hearts of some of my children that may not read a book right now, but they're on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter all the time. So I want to be able to take pictures of my grandpa's life, and I want to do it basically only in pictures, maybe a little bit of text, but I want to hashtag each one of those pictures with the story of Grandpa Watkins. And then you can go into the program at any time and put in the hashtag and then be able to see all of those pictures. But then they'll be able to see maybe daily or a couple times a day little pictures and images and go through his life. So we'll see how it works. I'll get back to you and let you know how that works. Or maybe you want to try it with me. So you can also share Historylines and your family stories through a blog. So do you blog? A lot of times people don't understand the difference of a blog and a website, or it seems really scary. But there are a lot of sites out there that can help you, and they have free blogging sites. So First of all, let me tell you what a blog is so you can understand. So it's a regularly updated website. So a blog is a website, but it's a little bit different because it's regularly updated. Typically, it's run by one person or a small group, and it's written in an informal or conversational style. So you can actually take each individual section that you're writing about in Historylines, and every so often, daily or weekly or whatever, post one of those sections in with all the pictures, and you'll be able to eventually have a story, and I'll show you how to publish it. But if you don't know how to blog and you wanted to do that, here is a site that you can go to, blogging.org, and to watch an instructional video on how to do it. There's more blog tips on Blogger, and let me tell you a couple reasons why I think you should blog. First, you'll live life on purpose. So once you start writing about your life and the lives of other family members and about the thoughts and ideas and events that shaped each life, you'll begin thinking more about who you are, where you came from, who you're becoming, and if you're leaving a legacy or not. It'll give you purpose to your life, and it's very rewarding. And number two, you're going to inspire others. Blogging will not only change your life, but it can also change the life of any reader. Hopefully the readers are your family. However, but because blogs are free and open to the public usually, anyone can read it, and you may just inspire a friend you haven't even met yet. And maybe, just maybe, others will follow after you and decide to utilize a blog to share their life story and the stories of their ancestors. So, this is the exciting part. After you've put all that work into taking each little section, those can be little paragraphs to each chapter of your life, put them on a blog, then eventually you can create and print that blog into a book. Exciting stuff. How about a family website? Again, there are a lot of sites out there that you can actually build a site for free. So you might want to look at all of those, and I'll give you some tips a little bit later. But why website? Family websites make it easy to keep in touch with family and friends with just a click of a button. Unlike email, which requires you to keep an up-to-date email list, family websites are both easy to use and can have thousands of pictures, not to mention videos and news items and a shared calendar, a message board, a chat room, blogging, family store, family bios, music, and much more. You can even produce a family newsletter. And you can post all of this information from Historylines, from your workbench, into these different areas on your website so family can log in at any time. So there's a couple differences between a blog and a website. And I already told you that basically a blog is a website, but the major difference between the two is that a blog and a static website is about the content refreshment. The major content of a website remains the same, though the webmaster or you could add additional pages to the website to increase the content at any time. So Weebly is the site that I use, and it's easy and it's free. So one thing you got to know is if you sign up for a Weebly account, you'll automatically get like a website name, which would be thesmithfamily.weebly.com, which allows you to use it for free. You may even be able through Weebly to purchase a web domain and be able to have them host it for free. But I think once you get a normal website like thesmithfamily.com, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. But you'll be able to choose a format that works best for you. You can check out my website. I used it with Weebly. It's at elisagans.com, and that's where you'll find all my videos, and in my library right here you'll find downloads and things like that. Now we're going to talk about some tangible publishing from Historylines to all these different formats. So you can publish with professional help. There's a lot of companies out there. My friend actually used Pictures and Stories and to get help with her mother's life story. You'll actually provide them with all the pictures and all the content that you can provide to them from Historylines, even giving them your link, and then they can take that data and combine it with pictures and create this most amazing, beautiful published book that you can give as a gift, or have your family all sign up and pay a certain amount so they each can have a book. Now, there's different organizations out there that send off missionaries across the world, and a lot of those adults and children send home emails and pictures about how it's going. Well, when they get back from their little mission venture, then you can actually have it published in a book so that they have that now recorded in history of that time frame in their life. There's also kids and children's books that you can actually write. So you can turn the hearts of the children it can start by turning the pages of their story. This is what excites me the most because you can use real life pictures, or you can find someone in your family that can draw them, but you can take little elements, maybe one little section on Historylines, and create that one section into a story, just like maybe I was showing initially in my first video segment about my aunt who made the story about my grandpa and learning how to swim. Well, that was only one section of that book, but you could actually make that into a whole book, and you could have all these little children's books on the life of Grandpa. Then there's all these scrapbooking sites that you can actually take and build your story. So you actually have all of the content listed on Historylines and all of the pictures, and when it's time to build your story, go to any one of these different story makers and they will help you publish your book. This is the site that I use. I use Shutterfly. I've been using it for years and years and years, and there's always some kind of coupon out there to be able to publish the site. So always look for an online coupon. So whatever company you're using, do a Google search for that company's coupons. So maybe sometimes there's direct site deals, but then maybe on Groupon they'll give you another deal that's going on. This is one of my publications. When my son asked his wife to marry him, he actually created a book of all of their dating, and he had it on the bookshelf at the library. And when she came around the corner to find their favorite book that the scavenger hunt led her to, he came around the corner and got on his knee, and that was the proposal was chapter 1. Then they got engaged, and of course I helped him create the first book, so I had to create a second book for their engagement. Then they got married, and at the end of the engagement it says, "Let's start the next chapter, Mr. Larson." And so then I still need to write chapter 3. And now I have a grandson, and I'll have to have chapter 4. So I don't know what I got myself into, but I think I'm going to delegate the bookmaking onto my daughter-in-law. Now, inspirational novels. I don't know if you've read Jan Karen's novel that she's formatted into a cookbook, but what a great idea. Do you have somebody in your family that loves to cook, or is a chef or a baker? You can actually create their story in a cookbook style. So there are some self-publishing sites that you can go to if you wanted to do that. There's some on Amazon. There's lulu.com, Smashwords, and CreateSpace. And then you could also do an audiobook publishing. So what better way if you had an actual physical book, but then you actually read the book and you had it so that your children or grandchildren could hear your voice for all through the centuries. So these are some recipe histories in different styles. You can actually do it as a scrapbook yourself, and you can put it in a 3-ring binder, but you actually collect all of those pictures of the actual old recipes that you got from great-great-grandma and include those pictures in the Historylines, and then include them in the book that you're actually going to publish. But if you don't actually publish a formal cookbook, at least you still have those ancient records of in grandma's handwriting of her recipe. Here's some cookbook publishing sites that you can go to. And then this one, actually, the Reader's Digest, actually will help you. It tells you, tell your story in a cookbook format. So that was exciting. What about yearbooking it? You know, there's family yearbooks, being able to take 1 year at a time and create your story in a yearbook fashion, or a teacher's life story in a yearbook format. My dad and mom were teachers at one time, and I would love to create my dad's story in a yearbook format and find students in the past to be able to write information and have the different pictures of all the schools that he taught out and have different students. And I just think that would be great. I think I'd bring my dad to tears if I was to do that. So after I finish Grandpa's, I'll be on to my dad's. But at Mixbook, they have an option to do a family yearbook. So you can look at that as an option. This one really excites me. So you can publish periodicals as well as all these other formats. So 1 year, when I go to a family reunion, when maybe it's my next turn to be able to create the family reunion, because we have them every single year, as I told you earlier in my first video series, I want to do my grandpa and grandma's life story in a newspaper format. And I want to be able to have comics and have pictures and articles and maybe the job search section to be able to show the different things that happen in their lives. And I'll have them all scrolled up ready, and I'll have paper boys out there with their little bags over their shoulders, and I'll have them do extra, extra, read all about it, and hand out a newspaper to everybody at the family reunion. I just think that would be so cool. Now, this was another idea. If you don't have a lot of information about one particular or several different ancestors, why don't you write one book that has the words of wisdom from several, of your ancestors, or a lot of them, on both sides of your family if you're going to give them to my kids. I got this idea because one year I gave this book to my grandfather, and I asked him to write his words of wisdom in the back of the book and then to give it back to me. And he did, and he's given it back to me, and I have that, and I will cherish that forever. So I'm in the process of asking other family members for words of wisdom that they remember certain particular people in our family have uttered through the years, and I want to compile those into a book for everyone to read. It can be comical, it can be fun, it can be serious, but I think that will be a fun way to share that. Then there's musical histories. I don't know about you, but my family is very musical, and we have family songs that we've been singing for years and years. Well, I recently, in this last Christmas, asked my dad to please sing all of the songs that he's been singing to us. And now they're in his voice. I have them on CD, and I can upload those into Family Search, actually, so they'll be saved in archives forever. I can provide lyrics. I can make a family songbook and provide that CD for all the kids. I can add stories about what I remember when my dad would sing those songs to us, and so on. And maybe you're a musician and you just want to write your life story in a music form, and you're going to sing your story. I think there's just, the sky's the limit on the creativity that you can be in the format used to publish your life story. There's also video histories. You can take all of your videos and give them to this digital company, and they'll actually put it to music and help you out, or there's programs out there where you can do it yourself. And you'll have great, fun, stunning videos. And again, pictures are worth 1,000 words. And sometimes you don't have to say anything, but maybe the kids will remember all of those things. So, what's next? Your Once Upon a Time. And I want to tell you, when you stand and share your story in an empowering way, your story will heal you, and your story will heal somebody else. A lot of times, there's a lot of hurt feelings that happen in families over the years. And I think it's a time of healing to be able to go and forgive, and then maybe be a little bit vulnerable and share some of those things in your life, so that the next generation can know that you are just human, and that they too can get over the hard things in life. So I know that if you do this, you and your family will live happily forever after, because our lives are not a fairy tale. So thanks for coming and listening to my video segments. I would love to hear your thoughts, so I would ask you to please share and send me your ideas and your questions through my website, elisagans.com, or you can email me at elisabiggsgans@gmail.com. And I'm also booking speaking engagements, so you can check my availability at You Can Book Me, and you can find all those links on my website as well. So I hope you enjoy making your story, and send me an email and maybe share with me some of the ideas that you have. So I look forward to hearing you in a next video segment. Thank you.